In this question, we're being asked to find out the Marshallian demand functions for the perfect complements kind of utility function. As we can see out here, our utility function is u is equal to min of x1, x2. Now, we know it very well that this kind of utility function, it corresponds to perfect complements. Okay, perfect complements could be like say left shoe, right shoe. Okay, car and petrol, etc., etc. Now, the other point is that these goods, they're always used in fixed proportions. Okay, so these are the things which we have to keep in mind, that these goods are used in fixed proportions. Now, if we are given the utility function like x1, x2, min of x1, x2, okay, so it means that they are being used in ratio 1:1. Okay, now there could be the cases, I mean, in a more general case, it could even be written like min of alpha x1 and beta x2. Okay, so they're being used in the ratio alpha is to beta. Fine. Now we'll be talking about these cases later, but for this particular function, we need to find out the Marshallian demand functions. Okay. Now, what is the property of the Marshallian demand functions? One thing which we have to keep in mind is, for a Marshallian demand functions, they are always in the form of increment prices. Okay, so your x star, that is your optimal consumption bundle, they'll be in terms of prices and income. Okay, so this thing we have to keep in mind. Now we have u equals to min of x1, x2. Okay, suppose our price vector is p1, p2 and income of the consumer is m. So assuming, now we guys know this very well, that they're being used in fixed proportion, so x1 is equal to x2. Okay, what is our budget line? That is p1 x1 plus p2 x2 equals to m. Now this is p1 x1 plus p2 x2 is the total expenditure, m is the income of the consumer. We're assuming this, that the entire income is spent and consumer is consuming on his budget line, not within the budget line. Okay, so other thing is that x1 is equal to x2. Now if you substitute this x1 is equal to x2 into this budget line, what will come up? So in place of x2, I'll write x1. Okay, because x1 is equal to x2. Okay, so I'm sorry, yeah, so your x1 would be equal to m by p1 plus p2. Okay, and remember this, that this x1 is the function of income and prices. Okay, income and prices, and this is your Marshallian demand functions. And other thing is that if you substitute this m plus p1 by p2 into x1 is equal to x2, you will be getting x2 also equals to m upon p1 plus p2, and hence these are your Marshallian demand functions. Okay.